Hey there, everybody. Jeff Zimfer, Mortgage Marketing Institute. How are you doing? Thanks for tuning in for today's Facebook Live feed. We have scheduled this to start at 4 p.m. Pacific, so I can see it is 4:03 p.m. Pacific time. And so we're going to give a couple of minutes for people to join in here and start submitting some questions. And today's session is really just all about answering questions for you, all the questions that you've always wanted to ask about teaching agent classes, but were afraid to ask, maybe didn't get the chance to ask, or didn't think to ask, whatever the case is. So I want to make sure we make the best use of our time here today because I'm here to help. That's what I want to do. You want to know how to get in front of maximum realtors in minimum time? I can help you do that. So let's let the questions start running. When you're here, check in, give me a little shout out, and I'll know that you're here so I can say hello to you. So let's start it off with kind of the general concept. I'm going to pull up my accompanying deck here. The whole idea here, and I've talked about this before, that oftentimes the biggest objection or complaints or resistance or pushback that I hear when talking to real estate agents about the difficulties in capturing real estate agents is, there's a wall up, right? Agents typically come back with you with a traditional response such as, all right, I already have a lender, I'm a listing agent, all my buyers are cash only, whatever the case is. I'm required to use my in-house lender. Have you heard any of those? Anybody heard the typical excuses you hear from real estate agents when it comes to you prospecting them about, having them send you business? So I want to start with, the mindset, because I think it makes sense. We always need to start with where are people at, right? Where is somebody at? And what is the conversation that's going on in their mind at the moment we're engaging with them? And it's important to understand that, because until we can understand what it's like to be on their side, right, from their perspective, put ourselves in their shoes for a moment, we're going to continue to struggle to understand why they give us certain responses. Does that make sense? So let's talk about why the agents have this existing mindset of giving you these knee-jerk reactions and responses that are typically just objections and excuses and just try and get rid of you and just say, hey, move on. I really don't want to, deal with you right now. The reason why that is because, you know this as well as anybody else. You've been around long enough to know that people buy from people, what? From people that they know, like, and trust. Yeah. And I would say more often than not, when I get feedback from loan officers, they're prospecting agents, they're approaching agents, and trying to get their attention, get noticed, get referrals, get attention, bottom line. And the problem is you're competing against the noise that exists out there from other loan officers, but you're also competing against the preconceived notions that you are causing agents to have. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean by that is that, you are probably engaged in what I call clone marketing, right? And Seth Godin, one of my favorite authors, has a quote. As a matter of fact, I think I got a book or two on the shelf from him here. Anyway, he's got a quote that says, in a crowded marketplace, fitting in is a failure. Not standing out is the same as being invisible. And that, of course, means that if we're acting and behaving and communicating in a way that everybody else acts and behaves and communicates, we are going to be perceived as the same by everybody else, same as everybody else, and our attempts are going to fall flat. So the first thing we need to do is, when we understand the agent's mindset, in that, if we're using the traditional approach of cold calling, hey, give me a chance, and look, I can close a loan in 14 days, whatever the case is, 7 days, whatever it is, right? It comes down to this. We're looking, sounding, and acting like everyone else. You ever heard the old saying, right? If it looks like a duck, talks like a duck, walks like a duck, right? Probably is a duck. Well, we don't want to be ducks, right? As mortgage loan professionals, we want to stand out and rise above the noise. And so that fits right into the overall concept of, hosting and teaching real estate agent classes. Why that is such a transformational endeavor for you to engage in your business. It's transformational for a few key reasons. One is it allows you to immediately stand out and rise above the noise, because most other loan officers in your area are not coming from that position of, rather than how can I interrupt and sell instead of educate and inform. Let me say that once again. Most loan officers are coming at real estate agents from an angle of interrupt and sell versus educate and inform. And so when you begin to understand that that's how loan officers are being perceived by real estate agents in their local area, they're being interrupted, they're trying to sell, it's just a pitch, hey, use me, give me a chance, let's meet for coffee, whatever, it's like they shut out, it's too much noise, nobody wants to hear it, all right? So if we focus on how do I educate and inform, that's going to build value. That's going to build likability. That's going to build trust because you're showing up as a go-giver, not a go-taker, to quote my friend Bob Berg. So it starts with understanding the mindset. It starts with knowing, why agents give you that typical knee-jerk reaction or response. They don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you. And then you begin to understand that in order for us to overcome those challenges, those obstacles, we need to look at things from a different perspective. We need to take a different approach, right? And the different approach is educate and inform instead of interrupt and sell. Okay, so we've established that. Yes, I want to educate and inform. I want to add value to my real estate agent relationships. Okay, great. Now, how do you do that? Well, there's lots of different ways you can do that, right? You could do webinars, you could do videos, you could do newsletters, you could do, a variety of different things. And all those are relevant and have their place. However, when you look at the elements that go into impacting know, like, and trust, like you think about this, think about your closest friends, right, that you have. Your friends that you love to hang out with and be with, right? You're comfortable with them, right? Why? Because there's a good sense of rapport. There's lots of trust there. Your guard is down. You like each other, right? You have similar interests. And so it just feels great to be together. And by be together, I mean be in person. And one of the secret strategies is when it's a crowded, noisy marketplace, you want to go where it's less noisy. Right? And where it's less noisy is where you can actually physically get in front of real estate agents belly to belly and start teaching, start educating and informing instead of interrupting and selling, and start doing that by building a local platform as a thought leader, as an educator, of somebody who's providing relevant content that helps real estate agents in their business. That is the power of teaching and hosting real estate agent classes. And so let's talk about the moving parts that go into that, right? So what are the elements that goes into succeeding when you're promoting and hosting and want to get agents' butts in the seats and understanding what to teach? Well, so a couple of ideas here. First of all, when I talk to a number of loan officers out there, they tell me that one of the areas they struggle with is how do I get butts in the seats? How do I fill the room with qualified real estate agents? And it's a process, right? And there's several moving parts to that. So you've got to understand what that is. And so the process that I teach is what I call power partnering. And that is this: you identify the affiliates in your local area that have a vested interest in getting in front of real estate agents just like you do, right? So those are people typically like title, escrow, home warranty, insurance, home inspection, staging. Think about it. Who else is getting business from real estate agents? And some of those would be great candidates as co-sponsors, co-promoters for your upcoming classes, lunch and learns, whatever it is that you teach. Okay? So that's step one, is identify who of the partners that you already have existing relationships with or that you know of and could develop a relationship with. It's a very simple process because you think about the affiliates, title, escrow, home warranty, insurance, all these people, they all have a vested interest in getting in front of real estate agents. They struggle with the same challenge that you struggle with, and that is this: how do I add value to my realtor relationships? How do I do that? And by the way, educating, providing ideas, being a thought leader is a way that they're familiar with. They've, I'm sure, been involved with teaching and hosting classes and seminars in the past. Now, what you're talking about is you and them teaming up to put on your own and to put on something that's incredibly valuable. And especially when you start to do it consistently and becomes a regular theme or a known entity in the local area, you really begin to build some branding and some positioning and begin to build your thought leadership and your awareness. You become known, you become liked by a lot of people, and you build trust because you're giving value over time. So number one, start with power partnering, affiliates, right? Who are those affiliates that you can work with? Why they're so valuable? You think about the story of the Trojan horse. If you remember that story from school, is that you know, a bunch of soldiers were placed in this Trojan horse and left outside the gates of what was it, Greek Roman city? I can't remember to be exact, but bottom line is it was a very strategic ploy in that the soldiers were hiding inside the Trojan horse, and so when the night came and all the soldiers looked like they had left, the other soldiers, what they did was the folks inside the gated city pulled the Trojan horse inside the gates, and at nighttime they just left the horse sitting there, and all the soldiers got out of the Trojan horse, opened the gates, the other soldiers came back in when it looked like they had disappeared, and they took over that city. Huh. Nice history lesson. But your affiliates, your title escrow, all these other people I just mentioned are your Trojan horse, because what's difficult to do today as a mortgage loan officer? What offices are difficult to get into? Right, real estate agent offices, realtor offices, right? Because they're closed offices because they have an in-house lender, whatever. Kenny Minkle, how you doing, man? Thanks for being here. Bob Berg's Go Giver series of books should be required reading. Yeah, I agree, man. Someone should create some Go Giver workshops. Hey, that's a great idea, man. You could take the content out of Go Giver books and actually create some realtor workshops. Very cool. Maybe I'll do one of those in the future, seeing as I actually know Bob, and he might be able to actually help out on that and provide some resources. So thanks for being here, Kenny, man. Appreciate it. So I was talking about the Trojan horse. My question was, and see, Kenny, let's see if you know this answer. I'm sure you do because you're a good student. What offices are difficult to get inside today as a loan officer? Dental offices? Chiropractors? No? Which offices? Huh? Real estate offices. Yeah, exactly. Real estate agent offices. Why? Because they got in-house lenders, right? They're closed offices, all that kind of stuff. It's hard to get in there and get access to the real estate agents. That's why these affiliate, title, escrow, home warranty, all these people, they're already in these real estate offices every single day. They're already walking up to the desk of these real estate agents that are sitting at their office. They're already at the office meetings. And so by you partnering with them, giving them a marketing flyer that they leave behind with the real estate agents, or inviting that agent to lunch, now all of a sudden you've got a Trojan horse, right, in your favor. It's basically what you've got. And it's incredibly valuable. So that's the first thing, is identify those key affiliates, and that's something I definitely help you to do, is identify those sponsors and promoters, co-promoters that are going to help you put butts in the seats and get loans in your pipeline. So what else? What are the other moving parts that go into getting agents' butts in the seats when it comes to hosting your own seminars and presentations? Well, the other thing to think about is one of the most important things is having a compelling topic, right? A topic that is relevant and captures the attention of real estate agents, right? Something that they want to learn, right? And typically it's not going to be things like TRID, although when that first came out, that did have some relevancy, and it's important to update your agents on that. But things like TRID, things like FHA, mortgage related, really, you'll get some people to attend, but it's not going to be something they're incredibly thrilled or excited about, right? What do you think they would be incredibly excited or thrilled about? What types of topics? What do agents want to learn, right? They want to learn business related topics, self-improvement, market trends, right? Tech tools. Think of it this way. They want to learn the same kind of things that you want to learn. And the kind of things that you want to learn, vary, I know, but the things that tend to capture your interest the most are the things that can help you get more results that you're looking for. Whether that's how do you do more production, how do you do it more efficiently or effective, how do you get more time back in your day, how do you take advantage of technology and social media and digital marketing. The issues that you're curious to know about and sometimes struggle with are the same ones they do, right? So what we become is a conduit to deliver information that's relevant both to you and to them. What's great about that? You get to become a thought leader, and you get to become knowledgeable on the same topics that are relevant to you. You then just share that information with the real estate agents. So it's a win-win. You're learning, you're growing, you're adding value to your own business by diving in, and then you're teaching that and adding value to the agent's business as well. So here's some examples of topics and presentations. The new rules of real estate marketing. How to use content marketing to get noticed and get clients in today's noisy world. So that's an evergreen topic because, first of all, everyone's always curious about knowing the new rules Marketing is always changing the tools and strategies that we use, right? And content marketing is something that's come on the scene in the last few years, and most agents don't understand how to use content marketing and what it really is. And by the way, who doesn't want to get noticed and get clients in today's noisy world? Okay, here's another hot topic: millennial real estate marketing, how to engage and win the most influential consumers in history. Okay, millennials are all over the news. Agents know they're the largest segment of first-time home buyers. They know there's a lot of misinformation out there about millennials in terms of, are they living in the basement with mom and dad? Do they have money for down payments? You know, are they just bums that want to just travel the world to buy backpack, right? And so what we do, think about this, right? I said this earlier, we're educating and informing instead of interrupting and selling. So what we're doing is we're positioning ourselves as an educator, as providing relevant information that will help them understand what are the market opportunities for them, how do we take advantage of those with that particular topic, okay? So the list goes on in terms of topics that you could talk about, right? Social media, database marketing, website, lead capture, sharing tips from top producers, you know, so on and so forth. So there's not a shortage of topics to present to real estate agents. I think there's just a shortage of desire and demand perhaps from loan officers to want to take this on and really build that platform and put a stake in the ground and say, I'm going to be a thought leader and an educator in my local area. So Kenny, anyone else? I don't know if you got any questions. I'm happy to take some questions about various steps it takes to succeed with putting on agent seminars. Feel free to chime in. Let me know your thoughts, questions, comments, concerns. I'm here to help. And while you may be submitting those, I'm going to talk about the next element that goes into succeeding with real estate agent seminars, lunch and learns, and so forth. By the way, people have asked me in the past, what's the best date and time to do these? And the answer is, there is no best date and time. It's just a matter of doing it. Doing it is better than vacillating and trying to figure out, should I do a lunch and learn? Should I do a happy hour? Should I do a breakfast? It doesn't matter. Just do it, right? Now, lunch and learns may be the easiest in terms of calendaring and realtor schedule-wise for them to fit into their schedule. That may be, an easy thing to go with, because typically people have, about 90 minutes during the middle of the day around lunchtime. And that would be a great opportunity. And besides, lunch and learns, it's a pretty familiar concept. People are used to attending. So, don't focus on when and where. Focus on just get it done, right? And just start that ball moving forward. All right, so I'm going to talk about, we're going to get nasty here for a little bit. We're going to talk about the F word, all right? What is the F word? What could the F word be? The F word is follow-up. Right? Follow-up. You've heard it said before, the fortune is in the follow-up. Well, same is true with succeeding when in hosting real estate agent workshops and presentations, right? You have to have the process in place in advance to know what your follow-up strategy and plan is going to be. I'll give you a couple of pointers on here's what I recommend and I teach. Number one, when somebody makes a reservation to your lunch and learn, your workshop, right? Follow up with a personal RSVP confirmation. What does that mean? That means you pick up the phone and you go, hey, Kenny, got your reservation for the upcoming lunch and learn. Wanted to just say I'm really looking forward to having you. We're really focused on delivering value in this topic. We're going to be talking about, the new rules of real estate marketing, content marketing, how to get noticed and get, blah, 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 right? And just want to say, look forward. Hey, by the way, anybody else in your office you think we should invite? Throw that out there. They may suggest you a referral, somebody else who would be interested in coming. Get their phone number, get their email, send them a link to the registration website, whatever it is. Now all of a sudden you've gotten a referral. So you want to follow up because it's A, professional, B, you're already starting to build that relationship and that rapport with that initial outbound follow-up call. So now when your actual workshop comes, you've already got warm connections established with each of these agents that you're giving a personal RSVP confirmation to. Right, so when you show up and you meet them in the room that day, it's like, hey, Kenny, yeah, remember I talked to you on the phone. Listen, just thanks for being here. Really excited. Hope you get a lot of value out of here today. That's what it's all about. Boom. Right, simple. Okay, number one, personal RSVP, RSVP confirmation. Kenny says, is this being recorded so that we that have purchased belong to Mortgage Marketing Institute can review to pick up your lingo on how to verbally present to realtors? Kenny, hopefully I'm recording this. I turned on the Facebook Live feed really quick, and I hope I didn't miss that. So if I did for some reason, obviously I'm available. You and I can talk directly one-on-one about talk tracks, scripts, whatnot. Happy to help you with that as much as I can. I'll even record a whole nother one and put it in the members area, because if I'm correct, you are a member of Powerful Presentations. We just got to get you doing your first presentation, right? Am I right about that? Come on. So yeah, let me know how I can help you best on that in terms of scripting. So second thing is okay, so after your presentation, you want to have a post-event thank you call. And I'm talking within 24 hours, ideally 48 hours at the max after your workshop's actually done. Call and give a personal thank you. And it's funny you mentioned scripting, Kenny, because there is some scripting that goes with that for people that are members of Powerful Presentations in regards to what's the follow-up script. And it's tied into, as you may know, the appointment setting form that's included in the members area, which is that form that you hand out in your workshop that pretty much has the agent tell you what areas of the business they struggle with, what topics they want to learn about, and are they happy with their current lender relationship, and are they open to talking with you potentially. So the follow-up script after the actual lunch and learn is actually driven very much by what they give you for information on that form, because it tells you, are they an A, B, or C level player? You call everybody no matter what, even if they said, no, I'm not interested in partnering with you as a lender, I'm married to one, sleeping with one, whatever the case is. You still follow up, obviously, and you ask them, hey, tell me a little bit about your lender relationship, right? Are you married to a lender, right? Are you sleeping with a lender? Whatever it is. So the point is, you learn a lot by following up, and you'll actually have people who fill out that form, that appointment setting form, and tell you that no, they're not happy with the level of support that they're getting from their current lender. So that obviously goes at the top of the list in terms of follow-up, right? So follow-up, it's key. Obviously send out post-event thank you emails. Cool thing about hosting these workshops is now you can add these agents to your database. It's not a cold email, it's not a spam email. They came to your presentation, and now you get to put them in your database for additional marketing that you're going to do. And then lastly, and taking this idea from my friend Michael Mayer, who was on one of our podcasts a few weeks back. If you haven't heard it, go to mortgagemarketinginstitute.com/podcast. Listen to Michael's interview on there, because Michael's a big believer. He's, by the way, the author of 7L, 7 Levels. He's obviously a big fan of handwritten thank you cards. Handwritten thank you cards is kind of a lost art in today's world. I actually have, where are my handwritten thank you cards? Based on the inspiration from him and from Bob Berg, who does the exact same thing, I actually created a bunch of handwritten thank you cards. Here's the envelopes they go in. You can see I've got the logo on the back and all that kind of stuff. I'm looking for them right here, but I can't find them right in front of me. But anyway, handwritten thank you cards are critical. You stand out. Who gets a thank you card anymore today? Very few people, especially from a loan officer just for coming to the presentation. So again, it's different touch points to following up, right? Those are really the secrets to making you stand out from the rest. So just some reminders, right? It's not about you. It's not about you when it comes to hosting these agent presentations. It's not about, let me take 10 minutes and tell you why I'm so great as a loan officer at ABC Mortgage and why we can close in 4.5 minutes and we've got every program under the sun and all that stuff. And so that comes later. That when you're dating, when you're on a first date, right? You don't get into all the nuances about your entire history. What you're doing is looking for commonality. What you're doing is you're looking for you want to establish value, right? Why should I continue to talk with this person, right? So Kenny, I can see, what do you have a question here? One of the ways, you know what? Let me put on my glasses. Probably easier to read. One of the ways to follow up is a call prior to the workshop and confirm the individual is coming and ask them if they have a preference for water, tea, or coffee. Yeah, good one. Good one. I like that. Have you actually done that, Kenny? Called and asked them if they have a preference for beverage? I'd be curious to know. It's kind of that extra touch, right? It's that extra Ritz-Carlton level of service. So not a bad idea there. And of course, right, it's just a great kind of conversation starter. So I'd be curious to know if you've actually done that. But I think it's cool. It's a great idea. You could also ask if you're going to be serving any food, like light sandwiches or snacks or something, if there's any food allergies to be aware of. Another great one. So all right, we're back. Looks like I had a Wi-Fi issue. So hopefully you heard that. I was mentioning ask about any food allergies, peanut, nuts, you know what I mean, things like that. That's a common thing today. So, and if you didn't hear me, Kenny asked if you had done that scripting about preference for water or whatnot. So, as I was saying, reminders are, it's not about you. Value comes before referrals. Agents are hungry for good content. Engage in your local market. You know, that's another point I really want to harp on. We just don't have a lot of time in today's session. One of the secrets, if you will, the untold secrets of succeeding with real estate agents is, of course, becoming well known in your local area, positioning yourself as a thought leader, a giver of value, but engaging in your local market. I am shocked by the number of loan officers that tell me they're not a member of their local board of realtors. Not a member. Where does business happen in your local community, your local area with real estate agents? Through the board of realtors. All the happenings, all the social events, all the different things, the updates that's going on. I'm not talking about the boring business meetings and committee meetings and stuff like that. I'm talking about being tuned into the pulse of what's going on in your local real estate agent community. What are the pain points? What are the things they struggle with? How do you attend the local broker preview meetings? Do you attend, you know, where they have the agents come in, the listing agents and the buyer's agents, and they pitch their listings. And they talk about listings they have, pocket listings. They talk about buyers they have. Great format for you to get up and give your 2-minute commercial about your upcoming workshop, right? And hand out flyers and start to build your known presence. You know, when I was originating, myself and other originators would attend that weekly meeting every Wednesday. I think it was 8 a.m. like clockwork. Every single week. And then there was rotation around which loan officer, which affiliate, title escrow, whatever, would actually host the meeting and would be able to take 5 minutes and give some announcements, or there was market updates or whatever it was. So get engaged in your local market. It can't hurt you at all to become an affiliate member of your local board of realtors. As a matter of fact, many times it benefits you because you start to align with the relationship outreach director, the membership chair, and things like that. So, and just remember that it's a process. It's not an event. Capturing, converting real estate agents is a process, right? What does that mean? Well, it means that you're going to have to invest some time. Like in any relationship that's going to succeed and produce rewards, value for you, it's not going to be wham bam, right? It's going to take time. And so you keep in mind what we're talking about here is we're talking about building your platform. Now, with that said, I will tell you, and this is not hype or BS, you can ask anybody who's hosted Realtor Lunch and Learns, when done correctly and the steps are followed, I personally have not seen a more effective, leveraged way for you to quickly get in front of real estate agents and convert them to referral partners. And why that is, I believe, is because you have all the elements of success, the requirements to succeed in building that likability and that trust. You got to be known, right? But what are you known for, right? Are you known as a, go taker or a go giver? So you got to become well known, and hosting Lunch and Learns is a fabulous way to do that. B, you got to be likable, and C, you got to be trustworthy. And so with social media and all that other kind of stuff, that's all great and well, and sending out digital newsletters and webinars, whatever, you cannot ever replace belly to belly. As a matter of fact, people are probably thirsty for belly to belly, right? Respond to it much more because they're so lacking of it in a lot of ways today. So when you're face to face, belly to belly, you're able to amplify and shortcut the amount of time it takes to build that likability and trust, because you're giving value, you're in front of somebody, you've got them captive for 45 minutes or an hour, and there's no other platform that's going to allow you to do that. So is it going to be a little bit harder work than sending out a newsletter and making cold calls if that's your thing? Maybe, okay? But it's going to pay dividends in the long run, okay? So looking at the clock here, I'm just about at the top of the hour. It says I have 58 seconds until the end of my live video. I don't know why it says that. But I'm going to keep experimenting with Facebook Live. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing an upcoming class on Facebook Live as well. So if you're interested in that, let me know how to use Facebook Live to connect with real estate agents. Again, I'm a believer in using all the tools possible, so Facebook Live is a great one. So if you haven't registered for the webinar, go to getpowerfulpresentations.com/class. getpowerfulpresentations.com/class. Doing a webinar Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and I'm going to dive deeper into these topics, all about hosting real estate agent workshop lunches and learns and stuff. Kenny, thanks for being here. Everybody else, hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you hopefully on the webinar and on the next Facebook Live session as we count down here. 7, 6, 5, 4. Looks like Facebook Live tells me I'm done. All right.